Hey everybody, Ben Titus here, bassist in Milwaukee, and wanted to give you guys a long overdue update on the Martinson build. If you remember from the last video, if you watched that, this is a bass that's built by a luthier named Tom Martinson. He operates out of Tennessee, I believe. And he is known for making instruments that are boutique looking at a fraction of the price point. This bass I picked up used at Cream City Music Store here in Milwaukee, and I got it for about $875 because it had some major electronics issues. This bass new was probably $1,200 or so, maybe $1,000. But this thing had pretty big issues. The pickups that were in it weren't actually picking up the strings completely. The electronics that are in it are some cheap Chinesium stuff that wasn't necessarily wired all that well, so it didn't really work. It felt nice, and still does, minus some neck dive. This is definitely a strap bass. But it does have a little bit of a hump in the fingerboard, and just today I found this particular neck screw is basically stripped. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 6 that are holding. There's a little bit of a gap in the neck pocket, but I'm not sure if that's a result of this being stripped or not. I did actually tighten these today because one of my other basses I realized was a little loose, and this one also is a little bit loose. I'm blaming humidity for that. But yeah, I am looking forward to getting this thing functional. But the first step is to review the pickups. Okay, what we have here are our old pickups, which we'll take another look at here pretty quick. We have our pickup covers and hardware here, and then our new pickups from Delano Pickup Systems. If you remember from the last video, one of the issues that we were having is that the pickup wasn't necessarily wide enough. Part of that is because the neck pickup is in this Music Man style, but the outside strings were outboard of the poles, particularly the B string. So part of me thinks that it was actually mounted a little bit off because this string was a lot closer than this one. So finding something with the correct width was the biggest trick. I think I've done that. And then the bridge pickup is a standard kind of jazz style, but in a 6. But again, the issue here with the poles just not matching up. Oh, this one wants to fall out of the cover right now. Poles weren't matching up. These are not adjustable. I looked these up. It was like $20 for a set of them. Probably not going to be the ideal solution. So that's the old. And here comes the new. So ordered these. I'll put the link to where I ordered these in the description. But ordered these, and I believe they make these things custom as you go. So these particular things took a couple of months to show up. Blaming supply chain issues for some of that. The rest of it is honestly just gotten swamped with life. But you can see the new one's a little wider, not much wider. But my hope is that the overall quality of this is a little bit better. Maybe the magnetic field's a little bit wider. I'm hoping that the pickups pick out farther out and that I can get this more properly centered in the strings when I go to remount things. So that is going to be our new bridge pup. Put all this back. And then our neck pickup here is the one that kind of caused the most consternation, because you cannot find, I tried to find a like a bongo bass 6-string pickup, and you cannot find them. At least I couldn't. So that's what this is. In terms of size, again, similar size, maybe, no, they're almost identical. But what I'm hoping is that, again, being a little bit better made, and that, since I'm not going to have to sand this down to get it to match in, I'm going to actually route these to fit these better, I can get this better centered so that hopefully we can get things going a little bit better. I'm hoping that the pickups come out to the edges a little bit more too under the cover. I'm not trying to destroy this to figure it out, but that is the hope. In terms of how they fit under the old hardware or covers and stuff, so again, these are the they're part wood and then part resin pour, so it's kind of a cool effect when it's on the instrument. In terms of fit and how they fit, the bridge pup fits right in. So that will require no modification. I'm going to figure out a better way to have this mounted than to have it hot glued in like the last one. Chances are, especially because of centering issues and stuff like that, I'm going to hard mount these inside the body of the instrument and then adjust these to center over it as best as possible, so that we don't end up with an issue where the pickup is not in the right spot. That said, a good friend of the bass world, Darren Michaels, has offered to help with this when I get to the point where it's above my talent level, and I'm looking forward to his expertise in case I mess something up. Now, for this one's going to require a little bit more work, I think. So if we test fit this, yeah, so that's going to require some routing, but there's enough meat on the edge here where I should be able to get that done, and then if I need to, throw a screw off center a little bit or something like that, or even get this screw hole to match up with this one, but either way, this is probably going to be hard mounted in first, and then I will adjust the pickup cover to compensate. I'll take an extra hole or two here and need to do some like patching or paint work or something like that to cover it up, to have a functional instrument versus having it look pretty but have the B string not speak it again, because that was bad. So that's where we're sitting right now. I have not gotten very far on selecting preamps. So I've got a couple of different ideas in mind, but I'd love to see what you guys have to say in the comments. So there we are. That's what we've got. This is the instrument we've got. My hope is that by summertime, this thing is strung up and playable. Again, I'm looking for some feedback. What do I put in here? Do I try to figure out whatever the Chinese stuff is in here and just fix any wiring mistakes I found? Do I replace it with something from Aguilar? Do I replace it with something from John East? Or anything else that you guys might suggest? Any other little modifications that you could see me potentially needing to do to this to get it playable? Let me know in the comments, and hopefully the next update is a lot sooner than this one was. Life just kind of got in the way with a big move and a wedding, and then, having a 2-year-old running around kind of makes getting video time a little bit tricky. So, thank you guys for your patience, and let me know what you think in the comments. Later.